Good morning. It is good to see all of you online today. I'm Karin Landsberg with the OUUC Tech Team. I use she, her pronouns. Welcome to all who are joining us on whatever platform you are using. This Zoom service is being recorded and it is streaming live on YouTube. We are leading worship from several locations today, and you will see the service move back and forth between us. Most of our sharing happens in the Zoom chat box, which is not posted or shared publicly. We use the chat feature for greetings, song lyrics, affirmations and applause, and items shared from the heart. It's not a good format for critique or conversation, especially back and forth debate. Please save your comments for the coffee chat, or feel free to contact Reverend Mary at minister@ouuc.org. We'll be turning the chat on and off during the service today. We have also enabled the automated closed captioning for those of you who would like to use it. It's easy enough to alter your settings. Find the CC button at the bottom of your screen and click it to see options. You can hide subtitles or click subtitle settings to change the text size. This feature is imperfect, especially when translating song lyrics. Feel free to hide the subtitles during hymns if they are distracting. We can expect some tech glitches as we continue to do all we can to optimize our connections. If you experience any technical issues during the service, you can reach out to Joe Celine or another member of the tech team for assistance when the chat is on. We appreciate the grace as we all remember it is about connection, not perfection. Last, I hope you will find a candle or chalice in a moment we can light them together. Thank you for your grace and adaptability as we all learn together.
Good morning. Let's sing our morning song. It's hymn number 1068, Rising Green. We're joined by some choir members this morning to help us sing, so I'll let you see them as we're singing.
Welcome. My name is Mary Ann Thompson, and welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation online worship service. The OUUC community comes together in the mutual promises and possibilities of our covenant. We commit to live out our mission to be a liberal religious community that opens minds, fills hearts, and transforms lives. We are so glad that you are here. I am a member of the worship arts team, and leading worship with me today is our minister, Reverend Mary Gear, Troy Fisher, our music director, and we are joined by some members of the environmental action team today and 2 members of our youth group, Elsie Sable and Katie Love. We give thanks to the tech team and the OUU media specialist, Joe Celine, for providing technical support today. And thanks to Darlene Sarkala, our intrepid administrator, for keeping us informed and connected. We are very grateful for the many hands that helped make worship this morning. We welcome each of you to this celebration of love and wonder and to this congregation. After the service, we invite you to stay online for a virtual coffee chat. This is a chance to gather with a small group to say hello and to check in. Each breakout room will be hosted by somebody to make sure everyone gets to know each other and has a chance to share. We will offer reflection questions today to get the conversation started, and I do hope you will stay. I want to draw your attention to the order of service, which includes our announcements and is available on the website. Plan to stay after coffee chat today for After Church with Melanie Ransom. Today's guest is our OUUC music director, Troy Fisher, who has served this congregation for 25 years. Just returned to the main room after the breakout rooms end. And from the important things to mark on your calendar department, I have the following for you to take note of. Today, and not tomorrow, is the final day to bid on any offered auction item. And you're going to be using the Back to the Future link in the OUU website. Adventures and treasures await. Don't miss out. You may enter or change bids until 6 o'clock tonight. That is not 6:01. It is not 6:02. It is 6 o'clock. Please note 2 other important ways to participate: by donating to the Raise the Paddle item, climate action and racial justice, to give to support OUUC item, which will continue to help us grow our technology abilities. Remember to check the auction website before 6 p.m. tonight. The clock is ticking and the future looks bright. Thanks to all who planned and participated in last night's auction. But wait, there is more. Please be sure to attend the online annual congregational meeting next Saturday, May 1st at 1 o'clock. We will vote on bylaw changes, elect new board members and leadership development committee members, and get updates on church ministries and finances. We will also see the final vision, mission, and end statement, which the board will consider for adoption at their May meeting. The links in the chat box will take you to more information. We look forward to seeing you at this important meeting. Plan to join us next Sunday for a worship service and workshop with Aisha Hauser, who is part of the lead ministry team for the UU Church of the Larger Fellowship. Aisha will lead the Sunday morning service and then offer a workshop on microaggressions at noon. This is a great opportunity to hear the wisdom and the experience of a longtime UU who identifies as BIPOC. There are many opportunities to stay connected to our community because social distancing does not mean social isolation. Please check the website regularly. If you have questions or need help, check in with a staff member. Now let us open our hearts and our minds as we prepare for worship. Welcome, everyone. It is good to be together.
Good morning, everyone. This morning and every Sunday morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. Please join me as we light our chalices together with these words from Karen Johnston, offering gratitude to the earth. What if when I light the chalice, you hear an invitation to welcome gratitude for the earth. This week, as I got ready to light the chalice, my family talked about the blessings we receive from this planet. And here's our list. Fresh blueberries, clean water, warm sun on a cool day, beautiful mountains. And now, with this flame of hope shedding light in your heart, what's on your list? We'll open the chat for you to enter the blessings from the planet that are on your list. And as the many, many blessings from our beautiful earth are shared, we'll move to our opening words this morning that are offered by Katie Love. Katie and her family can't be here today, so Katie made this recording of her original poem to share, and the poem is entitled Roots.
Roots by Katie Love. Deep foundations blooming outwards, threads and needles through the earth, weaving together the murmuring of living soil below. Grounding, rooting me to spot in awe of everything that the world can simply be and all that it can carry. The memories held in a century in its rings, hidden gems glittering slyly, stories embraced in the network, connecting endlessly, keeping to hold, sharing what must flow, recalling every footstep of every person who has tread on this simple holy ground beneath our feet, crowned with viridian mosses. The tree above held to its neighbors as sisters, fluffy with spring blossoms and dusty pollen, loving as we do love, bequeathing upon us all that we bestow, holding one another with tender grace, needing the other to exist.
Katie said, holding each other with tender grace, needing the other to exist. Come, let us worship together.
Let's sing together our opening song, hymn number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning.
For
singing.
Good morning. My name is Joe Joy, and I use he, him pronouns. Our story this morning is The Tree, written by Dana Lyons and illustrated by Daniel Danois. I just love this book, and so when I contacted Dana to get permission to use it in the service today, he said he would be delighted that we used his work. We can use the book and his song and tell the story behind the tree. And the special thing about this story is that there's a story within the story. And here's the first part. Now, several years ago, Dana had a injured back, and so he went to the Olympic Peninsula to rest. He went to the rainforest, and he camped, and he rested next to a large fir tree for 4 days, strumming his guitar and playing songs and working out what he needed to do next. Now, after the fourth day, he got up, and all of a sudden, a song popped into his head, complete, with the whole tune and everything, nothing he had worked on. He said, I don't know where this came from. Did it come from the tree? That's kind of a crazy notion, but I'll go with it. So he went on tour, and he was singing The Tree, and it became well known as one of the songs in his repertoire. And as an activist, he was known quite well throughout the Northwest. He lives in Bellingham, and so there was a celebration at the that the Lummi Nation was holding, and Dana was invited to come. And when he came, after a while, he got word that the elders wanted to hear this song, The Tree. So Dana played The Tree and explained, how it came about. And afterwards, he talked with the elders, and they said, yes, we know this tune. This is very familiar to us. We play this on our flutes, and we play it in respect to the tree. Now, isn't that pretty amazing that you would get a song from the tree and it would be recognized, and that different trees might have different songs? And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get these songs, and if more of us understood these songs from plants and animals in the world around us? And what a different place, what a different attitude we'd have about the world if this were true. And so here's The Tree by Dana Lyons. There's a river flowing near me, and I've watched that river change and grow. For 800 years I have lived here, through the wind, the fire, and the snow. I see salmon return every summer, and I watch young owls learn to fly. I have felt the claws of the grizzly, and I've heard the lone wolf's cry. I have seen great glaciers melting, and I've met lightning eye to eye. But now I hear bulldozers coming, and I wonder, am I soon to die? Who will house the owl? And who will hold that river shore? And who will take refuge in my shadow? If my shadow falls no more. But now I hear children running, circling my trunk, hands soft and strong. People are holding to my branches, so the wind may always carry my song. So the wind may always carry my song. So ends our story.
We came together in community this morning, bringing all that is in our lives. In this space, we draw on the strength of our community to hold all that we bring here with us. If you would like to send in something to share, please look for the link on the online worship page on the OUUC website, or send me an email, and we'll bring it into the service next week. In this space, we share from our hearts what brings us joy and sorrow, what brings us worry and delight, what makes us afraid and what makes us dance. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of life, our own and others. You will hear a drumbeat as we share today. It brings into our awareness that our individual hearts beat, and together we create the heartbeat of this community. Right now, I invite us to take a deep breath together. In and out. And let's open our hearts to receive the complexity of all that is in our lives and community today. Let's pause for just a moment to take in the historic verdict this week in response to the murder of George Floyd. As we celebrated that the legal system did the work of accountability, in this case, a young Black girl named Ma'Khia Bryant was killed by police in Columbus, Ohio. One verdict does not change a system. We mourn with our siblings of color. We know that our work for justice and for Black and brown lives is not done. In our OUUC community, Sage Barber asks that we send good thoughts, healing energy, or prayers to a close family friend. This friend is struggling with depression and is at the end of a long-term relationship that has become toxic. Sage, we send healing prayers as your friend moves through this transition and closes this chapter in their life. Joe Fenstermacher says that they recently retired and moved to Lacey from Minnesota and Wisconsin. They are looking for a community to grow, support, and be one with, and wanted us to know that they say thank you. Welcome, Joe. And last, Tiffany and Eric Felch are celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary this Friday, April 30th. They will go to Wellspring, a woodland retreat at the base of Mount Rainier, using a gift certificate from last year's OUUC auction. Tiffany and Eric, we wish you a very happy anniversary and many more happy years together. I invite you now to share from your heart by entering in the chat on your screen. This is a time to share all that you wish, joys and sorrows and whatever else is shared from your heart. And as we take in what is posted, let's hear the heartbeat of our community and reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. I place a stone in the water for all that has been shared from the heart, stone holding the complexity of our lives, held in the water of community. And I'll place one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. I invite you into a time of reflection, prayer, and meditation. Infinite web of life, spirit of love, mystery that resides within us, between us, and beyond us. Let's take a breath together. The breath of life. The gift of life that we have been given. We name and honor the milestones in our lives, anniversaries, birthdays. We name and honor the transitions in our lives, moves, relationships that end and begin. May our roots hold us anchored to this earth as we move through our lives. May we feel grace and connection. We honor the lives of others and of all beings, people, animals, creatures of this earth. May our actions give life the shape of justice. None of us is free until all of us are free. Blessed be, and amen. Let's hold a moment of silence together.
our prayers and meditation deepen our gratitude for what we know as sacred in our lives and in this world. Each Sunday, we express our gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. The offering collected here does two things. It supports the ongoing work of OUUC, which is also supported by your regular pledges. This offering also supports an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. For the months of March and April, our Share the Plate recipient is GRUB, Garden Raised Bounty. GRUB is a nonprofit organization working at the intersection of food, education, and health systems to grow healthy food, people, and communities. We have a video to share about their work.
Hello, Olympia Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Elise Crone, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the director of the Wild Foods and Medicines program at GRUB, or Garden Raised Bounty, here in Olympia. We are so excited to be a part of OUUC's Share the Plate this year. Thank you so much for your interest in our work. Driven by the belief that everybody deserves a place at the table, GRUB's mission is to grow healthy food, people, and community. We are inviting the OUUC community to join us in fostering youth and building food security, physical and mental health, and connections with the land through our 10 Gather and Grow K-12 curriculum. In response to COVID-19, we have received multiple requests from tribal communities and local schools to develop outdoor education learning toolkits. And your generous support would help us to continue to create and distribute home learning kits to local tribal communities and parents and schools. We hope you will join us in a movement to get kids outside, to reconnect them with local plants and animal communities, and to increase food access and lift up Native voices while we teach STEAM concepts, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Thank you so much. Please check our website to learn more about our programs and ways that you can engage, and we hope to see you soon.
Please note that you can participate in the offering by making a donation online through the church website or by texting the number that will appear on your screen in just a moment. You can also make a check out to OUUC. Our community partners continue to need our financial support. May the offering now be generously given, as it is gratefully received.
Thank you for your generous gifts. Drops of God by Tess Bombauer, Part 1. God, God is water sleeping in high-piled clouds. She is gentle drink of water, pooling lake, rounding pond, angry flooding river. She is frothy, horse-maned geyser. She is glacier on mountains and polar ice cap, and breathtaking crystalline ideas of snowflakes. She is frost dance on trees, and we are drops of God, her tears of joy or sorrow, ice crystals and drops in the ocean of her.
My name is Mary Moore. I'm a member of the Environmental Action Team, and we're quite passionate. I think you'll find out about what we do. You know, it seems to me that whenever we talk about climate change in a group, I'm always thinking about what can I do? What can I personally do? So today, I want to say that we already know many ways to deal with our climate crisis in this congregation. However, there are still things that we individually can do to reduce, reuse, and recycle. One of the aspects that has me worried is our overuse of water. There's a finite amount of water on this planet. It never gets replenished each time it rains, which is not what a lot of people think. They think that it's, a new source of water. Well, it's not. So it's a precious, precious resource. And after all, it does mean life. So I'm going to give you some suggestions in the next few minutes as to what each one of you can do to help. Some of these things I am sure you already do. And there might be a suggestion of more things you can do to save water, or certainly to conserve water. So first of all, I'd like to talk about checking your toilets for any toilet leaks. Using food coloring, put a bit into the tank without flushing. And if color comes up into the bowl, you have a leak. And that leak may be wasting the bowl. There may be wasting more than 100 gallons a day. It's a lot of water. And you'd never know it unless you checked it out. So another idea is when brushing your teeth or shaving, do not leave the water running continuously. I don't know about you, but I was raised to run my brush underneath the tap, leave the tap running, brush my teeth, and then swallow some of the water to rinse out my mouth, and then turn the water off. Well, that is a great mistake because apparently you can save up to 40 gallons of water each day if you follow this practice. Each day. Install water-saving shower heads or flow restrictors. They're available in any hardware store that you use. This will cut your shower flow to about 3 gallons of water per minute instead of the normal 5 to 10 gallons per minute. You might also consider taking shorter showers or maybe even a bath. Your automatic clothes washers should be used only for full food. The same is true for your dishwashers. Your automatic washers, both of them, use 30 to 35 gallons per cycle. So you'd better make that count with your full loads. Now we get to one of my favorite subjects, and that is gardening. There's some things you can do while gardening that will really help. In the first place, plant only drought-resistant plants and trees. And then, once you've got them planted, annually layer mulch around all of them to slow the evaporation of the moisture. Use a drip system instead of a sprinkle system, and use rain barrels underneath your drain pipes whenever possible. Then you can water your flowers with water from the drain pipes. So I also suggest using your garbage disposals very rarely, if at all. In fact, were it me, I would just remove the garbage disposal altogether. In order to remove the foodstuffs that you would like to get rid of, make a compost pile. And of all of these things, well, with a few exceptions to be sure, make a compost pile instead. It's better for your ecosystem, and it sure as heck is going to make plants happy. And while you're at it, monitor your water bill. This is really your best defense, both inside and outside your house. And if something looks strange to you or not right, call your water company immediately and nip it in the bud. So finally, I'm asking you to pay attention to your local and state governments to see if they are paying attention to the water system. Check with laws such as the Shoreline Environment Protection Act, known as SEPA. Is your city considering using environmental impact statements when building on a new development? In some cases, quite frankly, they're not. And that shouldn't be. So write letters to your editor, write letters to your local representatives on the city council, write letters to your local representatives in our legislature. Recommend some alternatives that might be helpful. You'd be surprised at how much they will enjoy getting your comments and are eager to respond to them. So just remember, amongst all of these things, 3 letters, 3 words. And that's reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Drops of God, 2. God. God is air wallowing all about us. She is thin blue atmosphere embracing our planet, gentle breeze. She is wind and fearsome gale, centrifugal force of tornado and hurricane, flurry of dust storm. She is breath, spirit, life. She is thought, intellect, vision, and voice. And we are breaths of God, steady and soft, changeable and destructive. We are her laughter and her sighs, atomic movements, sardine schooling in the firmament of her.
Hi, my name is Elsie. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm 15 years old, and I'm a sophomore at Capitol High School. I've always known that the climate crisis was an issue, but I've only recently started climate activism. 2 years ago, I went to the youth climate strike at the Capitol campus. I love that feeling of togetherness and meaning that it gave me. It showed me that I could be doing more than I was. Since then, I've become part of the leadership for my school's Climate Action Club. I've testified at multiple city council meetings, and I've written a short story about my fears of what the climate crisis means for my future.
Elsie, pardon me, this is Reverend Mary. Your video is off, and that may be what you intended, but I just wanted to make sure in case you wanted us to see you as you speak.
Hi, sorry. Continuing on. The more involved I get, the more I learn about how deep our problems run, and the more I get the feeling that I'm not doing enough, or we're not doing enough. Since I've been alive, the climate has changed drastically, and the climate crisis has become an imminent threat, so it's disheartening to grow up and see how little we're actually doing about it. The goals that we set are far off. See that some people ignore the climate crisis altogether or claim that it doesn't exist. And as a youth climate activist, it seems like the youth and adult roles are reversed. I'm the kid, and yet I'm the one telling adults to grow up and face their problems. And honestly, I get it. As involved as I am with climate activism, sometimes I even catch myself thinking that it can't be that bad. We can't actually be causing this much damage. It's scary to think that we might only have a few more generations left, so much so that it seems impossible. But it is happening, and ignoring it won't change that. I've also noticed the people who are listening to me, they seem to focus more on the fact that I'm testifying and protesting and not why I'm doing those things. I don't really want to be there. I'd love to not have to worry about the climate, and I'd love to be doing normal high school things that normal high schoolers do. I want to be going to ballet class or hanging out with my friends or going to school dances. But I will continue with climate activism because I want future generations to feel that freedom that I don't have. In the future, I'd like to see more adult climate activists. Being a minor, I have so many limitations. I can't vote or drive, and I always have to go to school. You guys don't have that. You can make a larger impact than I can. So sign petitions, vote, alter your lifestyle, and listen to youth activists instead of just being impressed that they're there. We can all do our part, and you're helping by listening to me. Thank you.
Drops of God. God is fire burning day and night. She is sting of passion, blinking candle, heat that cooks our food. She is fury, forest fire and flow of lava, which destroys and creates, transforms. She is home fire and house fire. She is giving light of sun and solemn mirror face of moon and tiny hopes of stars. And we are little licking flames flickering in her heart in the conflagratory furnace of her.
Hi, Bigfoot here. I've kept a low profile in the past, but watching humans and their big carbon footprint causing the climate crisis, the forest fires, the ecosystem destruction, the loss of whole species of my fellow animals and plants, I've decided it's time to stand up and take bold action to help humans stop contributing to the problem and get their big carbon footprint down to size. Earth is suffering a mass extinction event due to the impacts of the climate crisis, which means that more than 24 species are going extinct each day, maybe many more, which add up to at least 8,700 species lost each year. We are not just losing individual animals and plants, but entire species of our fellow creatures are gone forever. This makes Bigfoot very sad and even angry. The problem comes down to humanity's big carbon footprint, which, quite frankly, is putting my big footprints to shame. To tame your carbon footprint and get down to a reasonable human size, there are many things you can do. You can start with individual actions, reducing carbon emissions by weatherizing your homes, trading dinosaur burning cars for cars that run on clean electricity, and eating primarily plant-based foods that reduce CO2, not create methane. The next step is to support societal change by encouraging your friends, your neighbors, and your representatives in government to make the right choices to address this existential crisis of climate destruction so we can preserve a vibrant environment, not only for future generations of humans, but also all the other amazing creatures that share our beautiful planet Earth. By realizing the impact of your big carbon footprint and taking bold action, we may still be able to turn around the climate crisis and get back to where my big footprints are the only ones on Earth. Keep your ear to the ground for announcements from the Environmental Action Response Team Heroes, otherwise known as Earth, for actions you can take. Bye.
Bye.
Drops of God, Part 4. God is power of earth, in and under us. She is steady, staying, fertile loam, body, matter, tree. She is crumbling limestone and shifting sand, multicolored marble. She is rugged, boulder, and water-smoothed agate. She is gold and diamond gemstone. She is tectonic plates and their motion, mountains rising over us, rumble snap of earthquake, tantrum of volcano. She is turning of our day, root of being. And we are pebbles and sand grains, and tiny landmarks in the endless terrain of her.
God. God is journal of time marching through eternity. She is waking of seasons, phases of moon, movements of stars. She is grandmother, mother, daughter. She is transcending spiral of ages whose every turn encompasses the rest. History a mere babe balanced on her hip. She is spinning of universes and ancestress of infinites. She is memory. She is presence. She is dream.
And we are brief instants, intersections, nanoseconds, flashing gold-hoped moments in the eons of her. God is, and we are.
Let's sing together our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home, hymn number 1064.
Please join me as we extinguish our chalices together with these words from the Reverend Margaret Kipe. As surely as we belong to the universe, we belong together. We join here to transcend the isolated self, to reconnect, to know ourselves to be at home, here on earth, under the stars, linked with each other. May we move in peace.
Let's sing together our unison benediction.